more Ace Combat, but different one. We'll be playing Ace Combat X, which I haven't actually played before. I'm kind of curious to see how this one plays. Heard good things. It's got best plane, the XFA-27. So gotta make sure I fly that baby. That hasn't been seen since 2. Yep, I'm using PSSP. Even has its own little like texture pack that adds the buttons to it.
Okay, let's begin the briefing. Operator Eugene Solano, I'll be keeping you up to date. We've got news that an invading LASAF squadron has just taken off from the Puna Plains, en route for an attack on our position, Aubrey Base. From their perspective, this attack is the final nail in our collective coffin.
Started out with a,
After all, this is the only base that hasn't fallen under their control. I guess we can consider ourselves lucky. It looks like the enemy has gotten a little overconfident and sent only a small attack force. Griffith Squadron, prepare for launch immediately. Fly around the mountains and avoid enemy radar. Oh, I forgot. The enemy squadron consists mainly of bombers supported by several fighters. Please protect this base and destroy the enemy bombers. If everything goes well, we should be able to get the upper hand on the enemy in this area. All right, please prepare for launch. Let's pay back the LASAF forces with at least one defeat. One final thing. During combat, my codename will be Crux. I will keep you up to date on the battle situation, so please pay attention to your radio.
Yep. I mean, it's a good way to start it out. It's a slow-moving target, not a lot of pressure. Oh, you get napalm right off the bat.
Clark to Griffith Squadron. Maintain your present course. Do you see the enemy formation on your radar? Read you loud and clear. We're coming up on the enemy from behind, just like we planned. You can let the escorts go. Just make sure you take out all bombers.
I'm gonna try.
We'll show them what we got. After all, we're wheeling pilots. Isn't that right, Captain?
Excuse me, Griffith 2. Please use code names during the mission. Understood. You guys do everything by the book.
Yes, you can!
Hold on a second. The city's being bombed. Unbelievable. There are no military facilities in that city. What are you doing? You shouldn't be wasting ordnance. Relax. We're just going to bomb.
Yeah, I might have bombed myself with that one. Or I hit it. I might have hit some of the wreckage, but that should have killed me.
From behind. What? Where the hell did they come from? One bomber down.
Decent music. Okay, yeah, that's something you can only really do once. Alright, at least I found out in the coolest way possible. Oh, and you can save your replays? That's kind of cool.
Clark to Griffith Squadron. Maintain your present course. Do you see the enemy formation on your radar? Read you loud and clear. We're coming up on the enemy from behind.
That time I think I actually just hit the bomber.
You can let the escorts go. Just make sure you take out all bombers.
We'll show them what we got. After all, we're wheeling pilots. Isn't that right, Captain?
Excuse me, Griffith 2. Please use code names during the mission. Understood. You guys do everything by the book. Don't think Griffith 1? What? Hold on a second. The city's being bombed. The enemy. They snuck up from behind. What? Where the hell did they come from? Unbelievable.
Okay, it does not have high G turns.
What are you doing? You shouldn't be wasting ordnance.
What feels very 4.
We're just going to bomb some base in the sticks, right? There'll be more than enough ordnance left to finish the job.
So I think it's because this one has a... from what I understand, this one has like an auto tracking to kind of make up for the fact that it's on the PSP. Which now that I'm playing it with the 360 controller in my hand, this makes things very unfair for gunnery. It also only has one set of shoulder buttons, so you can't make rudder adjustments very easily. You have to use the, I think it was the D-pad if I remember correct. Ooh, ace. Alright. Bagged my first ace already.
We're sitting ducks up here! Hurry up and shoot them down!
Oh yeah. Yeah, I did the same thing.
How many aircraft are left? Somebody please respond. Help me! He's right behind me!
Drop the bombs. Scheiße.
Target hit.
That almost went really badly. It's fast after the mission accomplished.
Take that! Baked every last one of them. Didn't even break a sweat. Next one, what do you say we head to the capital and take her back right now?
Hello. What year does this take place in? Holy shit.
I'm willing to bet anything they got scared and ran away. I've got a reading on radar. Something's coming in at high speed. It's a missile.
2020.
What?
Okay.
Where is it? Answer me now. Eugene! The Buddha planes. The missile's coming.
So that's right after the Lighthouse War.
The Claymere? Hey, that better not be what I think it is. It's an SWBM. Get out of here now. We should do. Where's it coming from? How far is it? It's no use. We're too late.
Oh man, right off the bat, showed it off.
Griffiths 2.
Okay.
Griffiths 2. Griffiths 3.
Yeah, I've played through Electrosphere, all the Holy Trinity 2 and 7, 6. I haven't played any of the PSP titles yet, so this is my first run through of this one. So far I'm liking it.
The mission was a success. The destruction of the enemy bombers will help keep an enemy invasion of Aubrey Base at bay.
Kinda curious to see how much this bridges the gap between
also suffered serious
everything in 7.
There's no way anyone could ever call this mission a success.
I've played 2, 3, 0, 5, and 6. Oh man.
I'm sorry.
I mean, you played 4. That's one of the better ones.
That's the super weapon LASAT
0 is my favorite.
All of Aurelia
Second favorite is 3.
Who could have imagined
5 and 6 get kind of tied. Okay, available for purchase. Oh, so that's what we're doing with this Glepnir.
Of the fury borne by our countrymen towards Aurelia.
Such was the impassioned speech of LASAT's commander Diego Gaspar Navarro, as images of the Aurelian squadron's destruction over Cape Aubrey played in the background.
Doing it Ace Combat 4 style.
A day later, his gravelly voice continued to echo through my hungover brain. October. 1 year after the cessation of the Democratic Republic of LASAT's Civil War. After the Civil War, LASAT began to set their sights on their peaceful neighbor, the Federal Republic of Aurelia, claiming retribution for years of exploitation. The invasion suddenly began. With the ever-present threat of the cloaked airborne fortress Glepnir looming overhead, there was little time to react to the few concerns raised about the validity of the war. Such was the speed at which all of Aurelia fell under LASAT's control. Well, not everything has fallen into their hands, but it's only a matter of time. Looking out over the capital, Gaius Tower is both home to LASAT's Central Command and the very symbol of its power. It was originally intended to be a symbol of Aurelia's peace. How ironic.
I am going to fly through
As
one
I
of those
looked up
gaps
at the
some
sun,
point.
traveling the same old path across the sky, the rays burned my tired eyes.
At least die trying.
Just wish I could finish covering this completely one-sided war and head back home. I'll never get used to being in the southern hemisphere with its backwards seasons.
The Glepnir was last confirmed heading southeast across the Puna Plains. However, we lost all trace of it shortly after. Unfortunately, Aurelia's information network can provide no further details at this time. We'll just have to take what we can get.
Does it have branching Oh, this has branching missions, holy shit! Okay. Very Ace Combat 1.
The airborne fortress Glepnir nearly wiped out our entire attack force. Even with you, sir, our remaining aerial attack strength is severely limited. We no longer have the necessary manpower or supplies to pursue Glepnir. In addition, there are reports of enemy forces gathering at Port Patterson. If we don't move soon, it will only be a matter of time before they attack from behind. Given the situation, we are left with only one plan of attack. On the Puna Plains lying between Aubrey Base and Port Patterson,
Chatbot.
LASAT forces have hastily constructed a resupply base to house the large quantity of supplies needed to support their troops. Attack Puna Base. Destroy all parked bombers and base facilities. Take away the enemy's ability to fight. If you succeed, we'll gain an important foothold for an attack on Port Patterson. And what's more, we'll gain the supplies we need to win this fight. Unless we succeed in taking this base, that's it for our supplies. Please don't fail, sir.
This is the mopiest AWACS briefer I've ever seen. Alright, but if we're gonna do a desperate air raid, let's do a desperate air raid. Also, it said I unlocked a plane. What do I got? A6E. You know what? Let's give it a shot. Oh, B and A are both okay. Alright. Well, let's go humble A6 intruder. Not gonna get you confused for the problem this time. This time. Taking some of the music cues. Almost sounds electrosphere. I like it.
5 more miles to Puna Bay. Attack formation, please. I've got something on radar. It's the enemy.
That would be pretty sweet.
What kind of enemy? Air? Land? Everything's in chaos. What's going on? Just send up every available pilot. We've got to intercept them. Squadron of enemy fighters. What? Finish off all remaining Aurelian air power? Look for yourself. None of our guys have a Southern Cross. This is Puna Base. We have an emergency. Come in.
You've got an HQ building. Can't have
What's
that.
the situation, Puna Base? We're taking enemy fire. Request reinforcements immediately. Request reinforcements immediately. It'll take some time. We need time to launch. Hold on until reinforcements arrive. Hurry up! If they don't get here soon, there'll be nothing left of this base but a pile of rubble. Another fire! We've been here too! You're out. Too loud. Good too!
Make your base belong to us. Oh, you're trying to take off the runway. That's adorable. Arrival. Challenger approaches. That was anticlimactic. Coming to stop me. Can't have that. Pull up plane, you can do it. these guys are gonna keep spawning in. Take out the bombers, then we'll work on the fighters. That was the whole mission.
The mission was a success.
OMG, it looks like it. Yeah, what's funny is I didn't even have any. Like, that wasn't the special weapon. I went with AGMs, but apparently this guy had it by default. Yeah, it even has little gun pods like right next to the missiles. That's cool.
Retreating LASAF forces have abandoned Puna base. The base, including all provisions stored there,
Like
now
the
belongs
budget
to us.
Nosferatu.
Now
Yep.
we'll be able to provide backup support for our
Exactly. Alright, let's see what plane I got. JA-37. Wow, this game has the Vigan in it. Okay. Kinda disappointed that wasn't in some of the other games. I think it's cool.
The battle to retake Port Patterson is about to begin. Our scattered forces have come together for this battle. They're few in number, but we've managed to assemble a small ground force. However, the LASAF fleet continues to gather in Port Patterson, and the presence of the Transportation Corps has also been confirmed. Having lost Puna base, it appears LASAF now intends to shuttle in troops and supplies overseas. If any more ships dock at Port Patterson, enemy strength will become more than our ground troops can handle. In order to prevent this, we need you to launch a preliminary strike on Port Patterson. Destroy all enemy supply vessels, landing ships, and freighters. In particular, try to keep as many enemy landing ships from entering the port as possible. Battle supplies must not reach the enemy. If the MPG reaches the max level, our forces will no longer be able to retake Port Patterson. This time, a substantial enemy counterattack is to be expected. It seems the loss of Puna base has put them on guard. Please be careful.
Alright. Mess them up. Actually, let's see what we can get for special weapons for this guy.
Griffith 1, you are cleared for takeoff.
Now let's see if this actually has a short takeoff like the one does real world. I guess not.
Griffith 1, altitude restrictions canceled. Return to your mission. Good luck.
God, the Big One's such a cool plane.
Crux to Griffith 1. Check your MPG on the right side of the HUD. The MPG will display the number of landing ships from the port. Please pay careful attention to the MPG during this mission. So, you're Griffith 1, huh? I'm Major Berkman, Ground Force Commander. There are landing ships within the enemy fleet. We'll lose the battle if a battalion is allowed to make it ashore. Do not allow more than 3 landing ships to enter the port. We'll be risking our necks out here with you. Let's take back Fort Patterson. Oh, wait, I got something on radar. Put the city on high alert. I don't want to see so much as a kitten out on those streets. Just make sure that bridge is raised. I'm not gonna let them think I'm here.
None shall pass.
How many ships are still operational? Enemy freighter destroyed. The fire's spreading. Get over there. Go, go, go!
Shit, I only took one. What's going on? Okay, there we go.
Crux to Griffith 1. Check your MPG on the right side of the HUD. The MPG will display the number of landing ships from the port. Please pay careful attention to the MPG during this mission. So, you're Griffith 1, huh? I'm Major Berkman, Ground Force Commander. There are landing ships within the enemy fleet. We'll lose the battle if a battalion is allowed to make it ashore. Do not allow more than 3 landing ships to enter the port. We'll be risking our necks out here with you. Let's take back Fort Patterson. Oh, wait, I got something on radar. Put the city on high alert. I don't want to see so much as a kitten out on those streets. Just make sure that bridge is raised. Enemy ship destroyed.
Carry fuel efficiency.
EA guns destroyed. Enemy approaching from starboard side. Enemy freighter destroyed. Everybody, hard to port. Enemy planes approaching. Somebody help us! This is the fifth amphibious unit. We're about to enter the port.
There you're
Be
not.
able to acquire supplies after entering the
We're
port.
entering. Shit.
Just head for the bridge. Enemy ship destroyed. Shit. EA guns destroyed.
It is a portable game, so yeah, missions are going to be shorter.
We've succeeded in destroying the enemy fleet gathered in Port Patterson. Our ground troops scored a major victory by using the chaos caused by our attack to storm in and secure the port. We freed Port Patterson from the hands of the enemy. It's still kind of hard to believe.
The emblem of the Southern Cross. It was on that very day that the aircraft bearing the mark of the Southern Hemisphere brought about the defeat of Laysath forces. But the story barely made the news, and the Army showed no apparent reaction. Almost nightly, Laysath's commanding officer, Diego Gaspar Navarro, plays host to grand banquets within Gaius Tower. This evening, he is once again proudly trumpeting the glory of his airborne fortress. I've heard the speech so many times, it feels like I wrote it. Which, in a way, is a good thing, because it lets me concentrate on enjoying the food instead. As I gazed out the window at the night sky, I felt as if even the phases of the moon were somehow at odds with those of the Northern Hemisphere. The words of a fellow reporter, who fancied himself a connoisseur of fine wine, really got me thinking about the price of the glass of wine in my hand. One glass of it is roughly equivalent to several years of a Laysathian citizen's salary. Haven't the long years of civil war left Laysath an impoverished and war-torn nation? Whatever the case, much is unclear about the flow of money in Laysath. Ever since I arrived here, I've only covered stories the military had approved. However, this particular mystery just might be worth investigating on my own. The idea was nothing more than the product of an idle mind. At least at the time.